welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be, one, just giving a little bit of background on myself, and then two, talking about the things I completely avoid as a parent, and some of my favorite things that I do and how my daughter kind of reacts to that. So to get started, I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan Brave. I'll have a link down to my blog below. I am 23 years old as of this weekend, so that's exciting. I am a first grade teacher. I have my certification in K through 12 special education and elementary education. And my focus, or like my student teaching experience, was in behavioral special education, and that is kind of my passion. I love how the brain works, how the brain develops, and the way that affects behavior. So that actually does play into a lot of my decisions of parenting. I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. So today I'm going to just talk to you guys about some of the things that I absolutely avoid as a parent, personally, and then some of the things I do really well. And I'll explain why. You don't have to agree with me. Totally okay. This is just how I do, and based off my experience. You have your own experiences. You have your own opinions. You have your own child, and that is fantastic. There is a purpose for everything you're doing. I fully believe that, and this is just my ideas and opinions. Take it for what it's worth. So first thing I absolutely avoid or just don't do with my little one is never have. I forgot to say this. She's 9 months old now, and so we'll get into kind of a little bit more of that. But one thing I have never done with her are containers. So like the bumbo seats or the jumpers or the bouncers. She does have jumpers at her grandparents' house that she gets in every once in a while. But like primarily at home, we don't do containers. I wanted her to learn how to sit up on her own, crawl on her own, walk on her own, all those things. So she was sitting up by herself by 5 months old, rolled over and everything, 3.5-ish, 4-ish months. So right on track there, sitting up right on track. She started crawling at 7 months old. She is pulling up on things. She started pulling up probably around 8 months old. She's been pulling up on things. We're starting to walk with like a walker or holding parents' hands already. So she's definitely right on track there. And part of that is because I have heard, I have read, I have studied, I have heard about in college, I have seen with my own eyes in the field the way that containers can prohibit that movement because it doesn't always allow kids to move naturally. It can actually train their hips specifically to not actually sit correctly, or their knees on some of the jumpers. So you kind of have to be careful of that. I'm sure if you go to pediatric physical therapists, they have way more information, way more detailed, and some really good ones out there. And they do also have some products that are better than others. So if you're like, I really am going to have something, totally fine. You may be able to look up some resources that have better containers versus some that maybe hold their body in not quite the best shape for them. But that's just something that I have personally avoided. Pack and plays. My daughter sleeps in one when we travel, but I do not put her in them to play or anything like that. I think it encourages her to explore more when she is not confined. Again, just what I have noticed in my own experience, what I have chosen to do, what my husband and I have chosen to do. Another thing that we absolutely do not do is battery-operated toys. My daughter does not have any toys that are operating or running on batteries. The lights, the noise, the everything at once is very, very bad for the brain, and it can cause attention issues in children. And so there's lots of studies out there on that. So that is just something that we have completely avoided. Instead of having to comb through what might be okay, what might it not be, we just don't do any battery-operated toys in my house. And it also keeps the crazy sounds and everything out of my house, which is just an added bonus. Personally, those drive me a little bit nuts. Anyway, and then that way she is controlling the noises she makes. So she does have like music makers. I'm sitting around her toys, so she has a music set. She can make noise with these, but they are not battery operated. She has to physically move them to make the noise, and so she's getting to explore those things. And then another one is Coco Melon specifically, but really TV in general. She does not watch a whole lot of TV. Now, that does not mean she never watches it. There are times that this mom just needs to put on something for her to pay attention to for like 5 minutes to go brush my hair, brush my teeth, throw my makeup, throw laundry in the washing machine, whatever I need to do. I get it. So one of my favorites is on YouTube, and it's called Listener Kids, and they have these really cute Christian songs, and they have videos to go with them, and those are really cute. My husband and I both actually enjoy the music, and so those are very bearable. Cocomelon has lots of studies out right now about stimulation, maybe overstimulation. You can look more into that on your own. I have not specifically researched that just because I don't play it in my house, so I haven't really paid super close attention to that one. Just something we don't do. So those are don'ts. But to bring it back to a more positive note, are things that we do encourage and we do involve in our home. So guided play is a huge thing for us. My daughter has some toys that we may show her how to play or how to use 1 or 2 times, specifically like her recorder. She's 9 months old, and my husband and I would blow on it a time or two, and then we'd give it to her. And she now knows how to pick it up and to put it in her mouth and how to blow on it correctly. So we show her a time or two, but then we just give her the toys and we let her explore and play with them. She doesn't always play with them correctly, but you'll be shocked that if you just do it a time or two and then let them explore, they may do it incorrectly a few times, but they will eventually start doing it the right way when it's, especially if it makes sound or it does a flip, if it's like a bath toy where you pour water in it, then it spirals. Things like that. If you give them guidance and show them a time or two, then let them explore on their own. They're going to do it wrong, but eventually they'll come around to doing it right, and it's just really cool to see. Another thing that we have started doing, or actually I shouldn't say started, we've done it for her whole life, 9 months, is independent play. So that is times that we'll put her with her toys. We do it a lot in the morning because we get ready while she is playing. We put her with her toys and we either leave the room or we go to the other side of the room. If we leave the room, we either have our door open where we can hear everything and peek it on her often, or if she's in her room, I'll turn her monitor on or I can see, something like that. So don't worry, she is under supervision, but she plays by herself. And so that is her time to kind of get to explore things without us right there. She's learning how to do things on her own. She's picking up those toys that she already knows how to play with, things like that. And she's just doing that all by herself. It is independent, and we are just kind of making sure she's safe. And we started doing that. As soon as she started doing tummy time, we would lay her on her belly. We would not go far when she was little. We'd sit like on the couch behind her. But we would let her play and look around for a few minutes by herself. And then we would come in, play with her. Now, she'll go 20, 30 minutes in the morning, playing all by herself, which gives us time to get ready, get her breakfast ready, whatever we need to do. Super helpful for just having time to do things too. And it teaches them how to be independent. So, double bonus there. Another thing my husband is very, very good about this, and I'm working on it, is child-led reactions. So if she falls, and as she's learned to pull up and starting to take steps with her walker and things like that, this happens way more often, is if they fall, or if they trip, or if they are playing with a toy and hit themselves in the face, which totally happens, we wait. We do not react until she reacts. Sometimes if she looks at us and she's not really crying anything, we'll be like, oh my goodness, good job, or that's so silly, and we'll just leave it at that. If she does not cry, if she does not fuss, we do not go pick her up. Not because we don't love her, not that we don't want her to be okay, but we don't want her reactions to be based off our reactions. Now, if she's really hurt, it doesn't matter how excited we act, she's going to cry, and we're going to know that she's hurt. And then we'll go over, we'll pick her up, we'll soothe her, whatever needs to happen. This does not go through this blood, that's out the window, and you just react the way you need to react. But this is for those little falls, those the mild hits in the face with toys or whatever, and to let them react first so that their reaction is not based off of your reaction and you are not causing a reaction that really doesn't need to be. But it's really hard because they fall and you want to go and go right over there to them, and sometimes they're not even hurt. They don't need that. So that is a hard one as a mama, especially. My husband's way better at it than I am, but I'm working on it. But it is a good one to kind of let them just kind of guide their own reactions. And then the last thing we have been adamant about with my daughter since she was born is having conversations with her. So talking to her like I would talk to you guys, and not talking to her in short words as if she is a baby. Yes, she is, but one day she's going to be a child and an adult, and we want her to speak like one. So we talk to her in sentences. We ask her how your day is. She can't respond to us yet always, most of the time, but she is starting to be able to interact, and she will then know how to do it because she's heard us do it for forever. So, for instance, the other day she crawled on over. She has a ball pit. So, back to the containers, it's really large. She can kind of get out of it. I will post a link to it because it's really, really cool. But she crawls over to her ball pit. She picks up a ball and goes, ball? So I asked her, I said, hey, do you want to get in your ball pit? And then I just gave her a minute to, she kind of just babbles back. She doesn't say real words, but then you put her in her ball pit. And that kind of teaches that back and forth conversation. And I will share my last thing with you is one of my biggest philosophies in parenting is your child is learning things before you know they're learning them. So those conversations, before they can actually correspond, go ahead and have them because when they're ready to correspond, they will know how. They're starting to pick up on things before they're ever responding to it. So the earlier you start them, the better. Just simple things like, which PJs do you want to wear to bed, the stripes or the giraffes? My daughter will reach out and grab the ones that she wants for that night, and we have been doing that since she's probably 3 months old. First, her hand just kind of went up, and it was whatever she hit. Now she'll grab it when she wants and pull it to her chest, and she knows that that's what she gets to put on for bed that night. So those are just some things that we have learned over the past 9 months, and that we see that your kid is picking up on things before they are ever going to respond to them. So teaching them early, letting them develop to where they can actually appropriately respond is fantastic. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm so glad you're here. Click the follow button or the subscribe button, and then go check out my blog. I will have a post that has all of this on there as well. If you're more of a reader or you like to read and watch, then there's your spot to do it. I will post a link down below to my blog. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.